Joining us now on Can I Media, Kathy Sendall. And Kathy, you're with Alberta Innovates, and you were taking part in a discussion panel called Women's Energy.
Yeah, the Women's Energy panel was put together essentially to allow the women delegates at the Youth Forum to discuss issues that they felt were pertinent to women in leadership in the energy industry. So we had a panel of 5 women with a spectacular moderator of various backgrounds, from HR through to Norway operations, pipeline company, and chief information officer from the Hindustani oil company. So very diverse group.
Well, are the issues facing women in the industry the same, regardless of where the industry is located?
There was not a lot of difference. Surprisingly, there was not a lot of difference. That many of the challenges that were, from work-life balance to diversity to, critical mass of women in certain roles were very common across all of the panelists. But, I think all of us have recognized those challenges, and what we were there to do was perhaps give some ideas of some success strategies to be able to overcome some of those challenges.
What are some of the challenges?
Well, one of the common themes that we talked about was that there is no replacement for technical competence and for hard work. Those really are the table stakes in the game, and that beyond that, it's really important that women learn to communicate effectively, that they are great at people development, that they build strong teams around them, that they're not afraid to ask for help or say when they don't know something, and just become and get their operational experience early in their career, because oftentimes it's very hard to get that hands-on experience as you progress through an organization, and it really is critical. I often say you really need to understand where the money is made in the organization.
Is it harder for women in the industry than it would be for men?
I think it's less hard now than perhaps it was when I started my career 35 plus years ago. There are more women, obviously, in the workplace, although not yet what we would consider to be a critical mass at senior levels in most organizations, and certainly within the oil and gas industry in Canada, with respect to the representation of women on boards of directors, we're only at 7%. So, there is some real area for improvement at the upper echelons of the Canadian energy industry. I think we see more and more women entering in, filling the pipeline, if you want to call it, in technical roles. And I think it's not as difficult for them perhaps now, just because they're not as different as perhaps I was when I first started in the industry.
If you look at the PR problem that the oil industry seems to have, and talking about how it's ready to protect the environment and, worker safety, that sort of thing, do you think having more women in positions of power might be a better way to get that message across?
I think one of the things that the industry needs to be better at is sharing their story. And sharing their story at an emotional level, because for the industry has been very good, I think, in the past of talking at our stakeholders and educating our stakeholders, but I don't know that we've connected with our stakeholders in terms of on the emotional level, in terms of how they're feeling about some of the things, and putting those facts in that context. We could have long debates as to whether or not women are better than men, but I do think that women can offer a different dimension than perhaps in the past some of the sort of male icons within the industry have done.
Kathy, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
We've been chatting with Kathy Sendall from Alberta Innovates.